Once upon a time in a land that resembles a post-apocalyptic world similar to Western culture, or a medieval setting reminiscent to 14th century Europe, you are an amnesiac protagonist that doesn't have much of a personality with an underpowered weapon. You enter your first of many of the similar point A to point B dungeons to become more powerful in order to defeat the main antagonist and fulfill some destiny. Your task? Well, to stop the main villain in a pretty lengthy main quest, but you're not powerful enough, so you go on little side quests to rescue someone's grandmother trapped in a dungeon infested with savages or mutants or skeletons or bandits. Then you go into a similar looking dungeon to get someone a precious MacGuffin, so you gain more experience and money to buy more powerful weapons, so on and so forth. Hello everyone, I am Alec Alger the SideQuest Gamer. Now, I do like open world games to an extent, but there's so many of them lately is my problem. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted an open world game in the vein of Skyrim, where it never ends and you can explore at your leisure, everything is just open-ended, and I am grateful modern gaming has the hardware to make that possible. But from a completely subjective standpoint, that very task of playing an open world game can be rather daunting. The reason being that now we have completely open world games where you are a part of the world. Your character is a story of your own choosing, and most importantly, you can choose to be good or evil. But my problem with the open world genre as a whole is that the side quests repeat themselves constantly. Most notably, artifact finding in Skyrim, where you traverse through so many similar looking dungeons infested with undead Draugr that I honestly forgot what the main quest was all for. Now, this is probably my fault, but it kind of isn't, as some of these side quests do their best to impose themselves onto you, where an NPC will walk up to you with some interesting story that begins a multi-part side quest that now you want to do instead of the main quest. What I liked about the side quests in, say, Final Fantasy VI was that they were the product of the narrative. Like, after the destruction of the world, the characters are all spread out trying to live their own lives, and that was honestly kind of cool. There's also the 8 dragons you had the option to kill in exchange for, I believe, an Esper shard, but they were while you were doing the main quest. Well, some were in hidden locations, but it took no more than an hour to find. Now let's look at something like Skyrim, escort a dog to his evil spirit master. As much as I enjoyed the comedy of that side quest, what does that have to do with becoming the Dragonborn? What does that have to do with the main quest? There's just so much to do, and because they put so much into the game, I find myself encountering a lot of glitches. Nothing game breaking, but it would be impossible for a quality assurance team to sort all the glitches out, so there's a few noticeable glitches in some of the quests. It's nothing game breaking, but people are a lot more forgiving of glitches in open world games like Skyrim than they are in a non-open world game that has the exact same occasional glitches like Sonic Adventure 1 or I do wish open world games would do what they do best, but not put in so many identical side quests for a weapon you don't need once it outlives its usefulness. I do like Fallout 1's premise where you have only one in-game month to complete the main quest. I wish more games would add something like that so I can comfortably absorb the story without getting distracted by an NPC who's on the wrong side of a village or kingdom-wide conspiracy and then engage in a distracting side quest to the point where I forget what the main quest was all about. Because while I especially love side quests, especially with how Final Fantasy or Mass Effect did it, I do have my limits. I even heard people complain about Chapter 2 of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain for repeating the exact same missions with only slight variations in like enemy placement or weather conditions. That just makes me not wanting to get MGS5 because the previous 4 games never felt repetitive and every moment was like memorable, with the exception of the backtracking, but even then things were tense. Nothing ever felt repeated, nothing ever felt boring. If I'm playing 70 hours of similar side quests that don't stand out from one another, things can get very tedious. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with open world games in general. I will, however, still try to find the right one, as Xenoblade Chronicles and Fallout 3 look very interesting even in terms of side quests. But the open world genre is just not for everyone, and I am glad some games are going open world, but my attention span can get overloaded with all these options that I might just regret later making, like helping the Forsworn break out of Markarth prison in Skyrim. That's irreversible, and now the people in Markarth hate you. It's honestly hard for me to invest 100 hours in just one game. Yes, I'm glad gamers are getting their money's worth, but to me, it's like buying peanut butter in bulky 6-packs. You get your money's worth alright, but in the end you'll just want something else after getting through the first jar. When I do play my next open world game, I may not complete it, but I'll at least try to finish the main quest. But anyways, what are your thoughts on open world adventure games like Skyrim or Fallout 3 and beyond? Thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay awesome.